Hello there, gamers everywhere. I'm Sweepy92 and I'm here with LEGO Star Wars The Skywalker Saga. Is this the ultimate LEGO Star Wars game we've been waiting for? In some aspects, yes it is. In some others, nope. And in full honesty, some decisions for this game has been truly terrible, but we'll get to that later in this video and also in part 2, because yes, this is part 1 as this there is a lot to talk about. Very much to talk about, and hopefully I can keep it to only 2 parts, but for now we'll just have to see. And I apologize for this being so late. One of the reasons is because I've been postponing it, and another part is because I've been working and having some issues recording. Apparently, SteelSeries something decided to make it a default device, even though I don't have a SteelSeries microphone. Unless my mousepad has a secret microphone I don't know about. But let's get that other way and let's get to this review. Beware of any mild spoilers in this video and in part 2, of course. I will be showing you some clips from the game, gameplay, and some of the cutscenes from different parts of the game from all of the episodes. So there could be potential spoilers if you don't want any funny scenes spoiled, and most of them are for comedic reasons. And not everything is, of course, if you have seen the movies, the story isn't much to spoil. But just in case, if you're sensitive, I'm just putting this out there. Do what you will. Let's start with the basic story. It follows the 9-episode main Star Wars movies, but as under any other movie based on LEGO Star Wars game, the scenes and actions are heavily modified or completely changed and injected with a heavy dose of comedy. The game basically is a big parody of the films, and the humor is right on point for me actually. The first time I played this, I had a really good fun with some of the cutscenes.
King. Here, Master. Tatooine. It's small, out of the way. The Trade Federation has no presence there.
I hate that I'm laughing so hard at this.
Tatooine, you say?
Many times I've just burst out laughing out loud, like really out loud. My brother's sitting beside me playing his game. He's been wondering what the hell is he laughing about.
Rise. By the grace of your training, I will not be seduced.
The weapon. It is ready. We shall destroy the government that supports the resistance. The Republic.
Go. Over city preparation.
Anyway, as the game is following the story of the movies, TT Games had to choose what parts of the movies to incorporate into playable levels. Levels are a bit different from previous LEGO Star Wars games, as in this one it's quite more open and you move between levels on a planet's surface, or also up in space. The planet surface is full of side missions, collectibles, mainly kyber bricks that are used for upgrades. Things to find and things to destroy are also plenty on the planet's surface. Space and aren't that empty as well, or either. Some collectibles and challenges and side missions exist there as well. As you move your way over a planet's surface towards the next story mission, it can also be a continue the story checkpoint, which isn't a level in and of itself. It's either a cutscene only or a cutscene, then do this, then run over there to start the next level. Quite kind of thing. This works quite well for me, as not every scene and event in a movie fits well for a fully playable level. And if if these continued story parts did not exist, that would mean they would have to kind of just skip over that part of the film, or make a very long cutscene or a very jumpy cutscene. This way, they actually make it a more of a progression in the story, a better way of progressing the story. The problem shows in what TT Games chose to make a level of, though, and what they excluded. To me, it doesn't matter if some episodes have more levels and thereby more mini-kits in total to collect than other episodes, but TT Game has for some reason chosen to exclude key events from the game that you figure would be in the game, I mean. Like the destruction of the second Death Star above the moon of Endor. That one is done completely with a cutscene. You don't get to participate in the space battle yourself. Some other levels has the problem that they should have been cutscenes instead of playable levels. A perfect example of this is the boss fight, and I say the boss fight in quote marks, heavy quote marks here. A boss fight with Kylo Ren on Crate, where you play as old Luke. If you have seen the movie, The Last Jedi, you will kind of see where I'm going with this. The whole fight is one long, quick time event. And I'm not kidding when I say that it was the worst boss battle I have ever done in my gaming history. I can lose 100 times against the boss, and I would still find that more enjoyable than this boss fight. I'm not kidding. Quick time events are fine when done right, even in boss battles, like in The Force Unleashed, Star Wars The Force Unleashed from 2008, but this was just bad on so many levels. So many levels. So many levels that you can't see the top or the bottom of that skyscraper. If you missed a bottom prompt, there was no consequences to it. Nothing happened except prolonged the fight. Anyway, as to add a bit more to this level, you get to play as Finn and BB-8, and I think it was Poe, to guide the last of the resistance out of that rebel base. Now that is fine. In my head, the level should have had the fight between Luke and Kylo be a cutscene, and the level should have consisted only of Finn, Poe and BB-8 and the other rebels getting out of that base. Once or twice before the end of the level, we get some comedical cutscenes of the fight between Luke and Kylo to show that the fight is still going on while we are escaping. All in all, the story is for the most part really good. In my opinion, most level fails are in the last 3 episodes, but they also have some really good ones like the jailbreak level in episode 8. Let's talk about characters, voice actors, sound, and some other things. Characters, first of all, lots of them. Lots and lots of them. Over 300 actually, according to the game itself. I have far from unlocked everyone, so I haven't counted. But I believe this does include different costumes, i.e. different versions of the same character, like Han Solo episode 4, 5, Hoth, Endor, Obi-Wan episode 1, 2, 3, etc. So those are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 characters in quote marks. So lots of different troopers and characters you probably know the name of as well, like I don't know, some random alien in Mos Eisley Cantina. You get the point. There are many characters, but many of them are also side characters that you have barely noticed, or characters that you didn't even know existed. What TT Games have done well, though, is how they managed to make many of the unique characters feel unique in some aspects. Not just the voice actor who does a really good job for the most part, but also how they fight. Basic attacks, jump, and basic attack combo and jump plus heavy attack combo. Heavy attack is on circle for PlayStation 4 or B for Xbox controller. And they are all quite unique between the characters. This is very apparent with the Jedi and Sith characters who use different style of combat. The biggest example for this would be, I say, Count Dooku, who uses one hand when he's fighting, and also Force Lightning. And of course, we also have Mace Windu, who uses quite heavy strikes, just like Anakin. And you can see that Obi-Wan, he uses more defensive strikes, I would say. But I do miss Palpatine's spinning airstrike that he had in the previous LEGO Star Wars games. And something is weird, because Palpatine and Dooku, they don't seem to have lightning attacks. They don't seem to be able to use Force Lightning. The only Force ability you have freely when running around or attacking other NPCs who's just wandering about is Force Grip. And Force Grip can only be used if you're a Sith, and you can use Force Lift on objects and throw them at anyone or on enemies. But there is no Force Lightning for some reason. This was a major blunder for me, because it's part of the characters to me. And I mean, Palpatine, he is Force Lightning basically, but okay, let's move on from that. Voice actors do a good work with most characters. Anthony Daniels continue on as the Golden Droid C-3PO, and many voice actors from the Clone Wars animated series reprises the role, like Matt Lanter as Anakin, Corey Burton as Count Dooku.
Chancellor! You all right? Count Dooku.
I've been looking forward to this.
Let's see. James Arnold Taylor as Obi-Wan, Terrence T.C. Carson as the only Jedi with a purple lightsaber. We all know who that is. And Sam Witwer is again the voice for Darth Maul and Palpatine, which is great news. I love the voice actors for the most part in the game. But here's one thing though. Now, before I talk about the acting I don't like, I'm just gonna say that yes, LEGO games aren't the most dramatic of games in terms of acting and story progression. With that said, some cutscenes looks like they are made to be just that, dramatic. Especially in episode 8 in the scenes between Luke and Rey. I'm gonna play a clip here from the game that shows Luke and Rey's interaction.
What do you see?
The island. There's something else beneath the island. A dark place. It's calling me!
Resist it, Rey. You went straight to the dark.
Now, as you could hear that, Luke's voice sounded very monotonous throughout that interaction to me. This was one of the interactions. Let's take a look at the second one.
Snoke had already turned his heart. And he turned on me.
No! If I go to him, Ben Solo will turn.
Rey, don't do this.
Again, Luke has the same tone of voice even when he is supposed to sound dramatic. Now, I don't play LEGO games for the acting or story, but a monotonous voice gets boring to... It gets boring to listen to. So Luke's voice did not... It didn't do anything to me. I mean, it's supposed to be dramatic, but nothing really was. And it became very monotonous and very one-toned. Yes, I'm well aware of my own voice in some of my early videos. The irony hasn't escaped me. And before anyone mentions, yes, probably you can find my monotonous voice in some of my more newer videos as well. I'm only human. Only human. Let's move on to the sound. The sound in the game is spot on for everything. Well, everything that I have encountered, and if you exclude any sound bugs, at least. Blasting blasters sounds like blasters, lightsabers sounds like lightsabers, and Lego is Lego. It sounds like Lego bricks are breaking apart, exploding, flying everywhere, studs bouncing around like studs and clinging just the way we like it. Ah, Lego. Just the way it's supposed to be. The music is Star Wars, and it can't get much better than that, you know? I can't remember any problems or wrong with the music or any bad music scores. I can't remember any music bugs as well, but the game has its fair share of bugs, which I will talk more about in another video, or the second part of the review. Let's move on to sound. Nah, God damn it. Let's move on to design. Design. Learn to read a script. Design of characters and the environment and levels are really nice. This is top notch for Lego game to me. The environment outside of Lego is very realistic. I noticed this very clearly on Naboo when I'm in the jungle. The trees and the water is very nice. It's very crisp. The water texture is amazing for a Lego game to me, and I'm very impressed what they managed to do there. The background of like the sky and the space or space, the sky. Yeah, you get. Yeah, I think you get what I mean. The background, the far background, the trees, the sky, and so on, looks very nice. It looks very crisp, and you can also see details in the backgrounds, which are very nice to see in a Lego game. This is truly a new step for Lego games in terms of design and graphics. Whew, now, let's move on to the last thing I want to mention. In part 2, I will discuss bosses, bugs, and the open world in some more details. I've been Swift92, have a great life, and I hope to see you in future videos. Check out my part 2, which will hopefully come out a day or two after this one. Bye bye.